congratulations. How does it feel that you're here premiering Gutterbee at the Santa Barbara International Film Festival?
It's a great venue. I've actually been here before as an actor.
Yeah.
In a film some 15 years ago.
I've been here before as a guest and for a couple of premieres, and to be honest, like it's a relatively prestigious event, and it's just down the road from home, so it was it's win-win. It's great, and everyone's been very good to us. It's been a really great event so far.
Both of you are not a stranger to comedy. Gutterbee is a very hilarious, film. Why do both of you are attracted to this type of genre?
Well, for my part, he'll have a different thing to say, but we worked together for 4 years on a show called Banshee, and whilst our characters were arch nemesis, they were very much like the villain and the good guy, and we had so much interaction together, and I've never laughed so much. I've never laughed so much as working with this guy. It was meant to be very serious. It was meant to be very, very like, I want to get you, but he kills me. And I read the script, and I saw his sensibility all through it, and I saw what he was trying to do with it by taking it into American culture. And my thought on it was, if he can get this right, there's some kind of genius. Not everyone's going to understand it, maybe. Just
you and me.
Just you and me. No. But it's one of those. Some of the people, some of the time, right? I just knew that he has a sensibility that is foreign and an objectivity about what's going on here that could translate into film really in a very interesting way.
And I just like comedies. I don't look.
And he's funny.
I don't look like the parts that I get all the time is the bad guy, because I look like somebody who's angry all the time.
Sting.
And
Because he looks like Sting.
Yeah.
So I've done a lot of very physical.
You're very funny though.
Huh?
You're very funny.
No, but movies, it's face. It's like, oh, and then you do one film where you're a bad guy, and that works well. And then you get that part again and again and again. But when I did theater a lot in Copenhagen, I did a lot of physical comedy. Like I was a comedic actor.
Which is bizarre to me.
Well, yeah, and but for this also, I mean, I've chose the form of comedy because I think what comes out of, just put a name on it, Trump's
tragedy in comedy.
Trump's mouth and that whole political is very burlesque, almost satirical in his own way.
Yeah, I mean the film is comedic, but like I've got a friend from New Zealand who deals with very heavy subjects, like, without name dropping or saying what it is, but like child abuse, but with a very light touch on top, so it's underneath the story. And I think that's what this is as well. It's maybe a little more overt, but it's basically, it is ostensibly a comedy. You can take it at face value for what it is, but there's a lot of really deep thematic input that's gone in, and this guy's thought about it so much, and that's what really appealed to me about doing it, obviously because I know him and we spent a lot of time talking about it, and I just saw how the different layers that he was putting into it.
It also ends on a quite serious note, because I think even though, yes, the political agenda is comedic, almost burlesque, there's a consequence.
It is, but I wouldn't say it's a strict comedy, because I think there's such a commentary on what's going on, and not just in the States. Like I could think of a lot of towns in New Zealand that are going through the same struggle. The industry's leaving, so what is the identity of these people when the golden goose of the town is gone? So what do they do? Where do they go? They've lived there generations. And upon generations have lived there. So who are we now? What do we do? How do we find some sense of pride? How do we find some sense of worth? It's all about identity, and I think there's a beautiful it's no accident obviously, but we got a German guy that buys a church and tries to feed people. We get into there's another religious side of it, like you literally eat the body of Christ at church, some denominations, and So what are we doing? We're in a church. We're feeding people sausage. It's like there's so many different layers to the film. Too many to go into now, but it's really what I love about it is you can go in and you can get as much as you want at a deeper level, and everything is real. Like he has researched everything.
Yeah.
Everything comes from a real base. He might have told you, right? But
It's
so
what it
for
says
me,
in the beginning, yeah, it says
dude,
based on facts. And
for me, it was fascinating because I'm like, oh, Lord, what about this? And he's like, no, that really happened. There was a sausage duel. Like all of this stuff is real, and it gives it. Like it doesn't change the film outwardly, but it does give the audience another little access route into something more. You know, there's so many different layers to it.
People tend, when I tell them that it's all real, in the beginning they laugh about it, says it's based on facts, but of course plays on the alternative facts and the whole, you know, lingo. But when I tell them, like you just did, that it's actually that nothing. I mean, nothing is something I made up. Made up the backstory of Edward the Sausage Guy, your backstory.
Right.
So the characters' backstories are just, you know, I mean, but the topic and everything they say is based on gay conversion therapy testimonials.
I wanted him to play the sausage.
You know,
Yeah, of course.
And,
It's basically you are the sausage guy.
Yeah.
You
I'm
did
gonna
a
go
great
see it right
job.
now.
Excuse me.
I'm gonna go see Gutterby right now.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
can't wait to see it. Are
Please
you on
enjoy
it?
the sausages.
Can I get your autograph? Oh, it's an interview. I'm sorry.
We're in an interview right now, but you know this is all good stuff. All good stuff.
So, but yeah, as you said, it's essentially it's about identity. The whole film.
But look, what I was going to say is Ewan did a fantastic job in the film, and you know he's a gem to work with. Very thoughtful, very particular, and very specific about what he wants to do. But there were certain instances where because I feel like you wrote that German part for you.
I wrote all the parts for me. You know,
Of course you did.
Did you write the
even the racist chicken I wrote for
Oh,
myself.
really?
No,
No, not your part. So you wrote the part for him specifically.
Well, I wrote it.
No, just general. I was just like I was part of a kennel call.
I wrote it before.
Casting.
I wrote it before we talked about it. So, but then I thought
We talked about it years ago.
Yeah, no, but I
Yeah.
also wrote a version of it years ago. You know, but
I remember you talking about this. Like we did another show together for 4 years, and I remember after 2 years doing that show, I remember you saying, So I've got this sausage film, and I'm thinking about maybe I'm gonna do it, and maybe you want to be a part of it. And sure, yeah, I'll do your sausage film. Never thinking it would be made. Always thinking like that's never gonna get made, and then all of a sudden, here we are, and we're in Santa Barbara. We're about to go to the premiere, and it's all good.
great, yeah, and a fantastic DOP on it, Anthony
Oh my
Mantle.
God.
He's won an Oscar for Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah, he's
and all that.
fantastic.
So it's
Incredible.
a great. You've seen it. It's a great piece of cinema as well. You know.
It is.
But he's an incredible operator. He's an incredible DP, and he's also just on set because of the wealth of experience that he has. He carries that on set, and he's a leader on set, and he's one of those leaders that you don't know is a leader, but everyone's kind of looking to him and deferring to his advice, and he wears it very well. And he was honestly, I think he was a huge presence on that set,
no, for sure.
and
You know,
he made it great.
Yeah. And he's quick. Producer likes that.
He's quick. Well, yeah. We did that scene. What was the scene in the church house? And he just went, no, just like I'm gonna put it up 360. I'm just gonna go handheld. And he operated himself.
Yeah.
And I remember after take one, you came up. You're just like, we got so much. We got so much. But that's because Anthony was working in tune with whatever we were doing. He was just finding the right shots.
He's a
And there's
phenomenal operator.
phenomenal operator, but also like he'd lit it and he'd set it up so that he could give himself the latitude to do that with the actors. He gave us all freedom to do that, and it's very, very rare that you get that opportunity where you can almost literally do what you want. and you know that someone's going to be there to catch the good bits.
Yeah.
Excellent. And just real fast, for you, Anthony, you got to dance, you got to make sausages.
I
Talk about that
live to
experience.
dance. I live for sausage and I live to dance. What a sentence. I'm sorry, what was the question?
I was just
I
asking.
got
whether
distracted about sausages.
The experience of dancing and making sausage.
The Schuhplattler, yeah.
Yeah, the shoe platter. So the good news for me is that I didn't have to be proficient, because the bad news for me is I have all the rhythm of a meteorite hitting the earth. I'm like I am not rhythmically inclined.
It was actually
So-
it was quite tricky to edit that, because what's fun
I'm
about
sure it was.
if it's in sync, and there was very little in sync. But we were shot with three cameras. There was a lot of cameras that night. So.
Jeez Louise, there was
I think
that was
two.
a busy night, so I don't know if you had 2 or 3, but it was very difficult. But my take on it was is that Ewan needed to be on point, because that's his thing, right? That's his character's dance. For my guy, the less I knew it, I'm not particularly methods. So, and the guy, I learned it a bit, but the more I didn't know, almost the better it worked for story terms. You know, it didn't hinder anything. I don't think. Made it very hard to cut, but that's not my problem.
Yeah, but it worked. That was good. It worked well.
Excellent. Hey, thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you,
Really
brother.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.